I truly see that the path of spiritual mastery is absolutely essential on one's path, the path toward ascension to a higher level of being. What's up, everyone? It's Forrest with Glossian Forest, and in this video I'd like to speak with you on spiritual mastery, a path towards ascension. This to me is likely the most important aspect of one's life. And the problem really occurs when we become too overly identified with the material world. And this is where, really understanding what the ego is, how it kind of governs and rules over our life. And it's only through conscious awareness, or awareness in general, consciousness, then we can begin to take complete ownership of our life situation, as well as really step into our empowerment, our personal power, which is that of the understanding that beyond this flesh and bone is the true self. And through my own research, through my own understanding of the spiritual path, really referring to the Gnostic tradition in particular, then what begins to surface is we are so much more than what our five senses are, our lens through which we see the world. It's very limited when you begin to live your life in this way. If you consider the light spectrum, the full scope of the light spectrum, we only see like 0.00001% of the totality of all things. And if we consider matter itself, like take matter, it's 0.0000001% empty space. So what we are actually seeing as a physical object is only a very dense materialization of energy itself. And this is more of common known in some of the quantum physicists, the realm of quantum physicists, and quantum physics in general is more on the cutting edge of that. You still have the Newtonian model of everything is material, consciousness comes from the brain, and all of this stuff. Whereas I like to look at the Eastern tradition because really they're far beyond the West. They're far beyond where our current scientists are. A lot of the discoveries that the modern scientists are actually making has been known for thousands of years in Eastern traditions, different spiritual traditions throughout all of antiquity. So spiritual mastery is a mastery on all dimensions of our being. Sure, it is this physical realm because it is through the physical world through which we can reach heights, right? Different degrees of mastery. And that's why I really like to refer to the Gnostic tradition of Samael and Bayor, because he was the first one to reveal the secret esoteric path to the public. And this really occurred around 60 years ago. And before that, you had to be initiated into these sciences. And even thousands of years ago, you had to be an initiate into the mystery schools. And you had to meet certain criteria. Not everybody was just accepted, right? You had to have some sort of a spiritual maturity. And if you showed the characteristics and attributes and you were chosen, so to speak, then you were given the trials in order to become an initiate and begin the path of self-mastery, the path of initiation. And you would advance quite rapidly if you were able to adhere to those challenges and obstacles that you're met with on such a difficult path, but a path that would be ultimately well worth it. I mean, when you consider what the outcome of a path of spiritual mastery is, it's an angel. You look at the Buddha, you look at Padmasambhava, some of these masters of ancient times, even if you look at Yeshua, Jesus, a lot of these guys reached an insurmountable heights that we can only not even grasp. We can't even grasp it. And, these figures, they knew this secret, hidden, esoteric path. And this is something I'm going to be speaking on more and more in the future, because it is the path of self-mastery. And, in Gnosis particularly, there is a description or distinction that there's not only you've reached mastery and that's all there is to it, but there's levels, there's degrees upon degrees of mastery as well. So it's considering the physical world, I do see that the physical body should be well maintained and healthy. You got to begin to ask yourself, do I feel strong and fit? Do I feel capable and able to handle myself for whatever may come my way? Or, do you feel strong in your body? Do you feel healthy? Do you feel vigor, vitality? If not, it's a matter of aligning with that self that is one of health and vigor and vitality, and just having that energetic quality to yourself and just be a healthier version of yourself. So that means, looking at your sleep. Do you get good quality sleep? Do you follow the circadian rhythm? Do you go to sleep when the sun goes down? Do you wake up when the sun comes up? That's personally what I do. And I have a very, very good routine to stick to, because I do follow those ebb and flows, those cycles, to give me a very large amount of energy throughout the day. And then you consider, your emotional nature. These are all different spheres or dimensions of life. So of course the physical world we're most acclimated to, because this is the world of Maya. This is the world of so-called illusion of the senses. It's very limited though. But when you're able to discover and kind of go into deeper dimensions of yourself, really in meditation, because I haven't found anything that can come close to the efficacy of meditation. And there are so many different meditation techniques out there, but what's taught in Gnosis is a particular procedure in a way to bring conscious awareness to the situation and become drowsy, body become drowsy, but you remaining a conscious awareness of yourself throughout the whole entirety process. And it's really a matter of the way meditation is taught in Gnosis is gaining information that is inaccessible to the senses. So the purposes of meditation, specifically in the Gnostic tradition, is centered around gaining information that you naturally wouldn't be privy to in your waking life, that it's often beneath the surface, right? If you look at a picture of a iceberg, underneath the iceberg is the larger portion of the iceberg, and the upper portion is just a small. So you can relate that to the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and even the unconscious mind as well. And this is really relevant when it comes to really seeing how meditation is so relevant in our life, and how if we meet the criteria to become drowsy but remain conscious and attentive in the moment through concentration on a particular object, then what you'll begin to realize is that new information can occur. New information can present itself. And this can be related to, our innermost, our being, giving us fresh information related around a specific area of life, a problem, an issue you may be having in your life ultimately. So meditation becomes essential on this path, because without the art and the science of meditation, it's going to be very difficult to be able to understand, to know thyself beyond this personality, beyond this identification that we associate ourselves with. We have to be able to quiet the chatter, the chaos of the mind, the intellect, right? The intellect must be silenced. And we can do that. Another very effective practice is koans, which are, I believe it comes from the Taoist, sect, that group, and the Zen Buddhism, and there are many different koans that are used, particularly in the Gnostic tradition, to tire the intellect, to bring it to a level of defeatism. And then when that happens, then that's when new information can arise. Our innermost can really speak to us in maybe it's feelings, maybe it's images, an intuition, just a knowing, and different ways like that. So that's more, meditation really relates to the emotional / the mental, and really, well, ultimately the spiritual as well. So spiritual mastery is absolutely essential in our modern world because we are leading to more and more degeneration as time goes on. And the work is extremely psychological. And through, the particular science of meditation, understanding ourselves and our problems, we begin to advance in the psychological work. And this is ultimately a path toward the freedom of suffering, being free of suffering. Because, in Gnosis, they mention that we find ourselves in the valley of tears. And it's very true. It's not too difficult to see that the majority of us are in a deep, deep state of suffering. But there is a way out. And not many people know of it because it was hidden for so long. However, now the information is to the public, and it's something I want to share moving forward on the channel. So that's all I really have for you in today's video. I really wanted it to be like an intro to spiritual mastery because it kind of moves the needle. It sets the tone for the future videos to come in the future, just for you all to have an idea of what to expect. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to comment, letting us know what you thought about the video and sort of what other types of videos you'd like to see in the future. And if you're interested in gaining access to these videos before they go live to the public, then check our Patreon link in the description below, and you'll gain early access to these videos. So with that being said, we truly hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll speak soon.